ever given thought to how jealousy affects you? What if someone else got the one thing you wanted most in your life? Would that change your relationship with that person? Would you want to harm them? Welcome back to this week's story. I am back with another episode of Girl From Nowhere. You guys seem to like the previous ones if watch time is an accurate measure to go by. So today we're going to be talking about the episode titled Apologies. In case you're new here, Girl From Nowhere is a Thai mystery/thriller series that revolves around a high school girl named Nanno. Each episode is a standalone episode, so the only common factor in all of these episodes is Nanno. And every episode takes place in a different high school, but each high school has things going on in them that are absolutely despicable. But somehow Nanno seems to know about all of these issues even before setting foot into the school. Now, I do want to preface this episode with this. This episode of the podcast will have heavy mentions of rape, and it is rape of a minor by another minor. If you are not comfortable or not in the right headspace for it, please take care of yourselves and maybe read a book or do my favorite thing in the world and roll around on your bedroom floor, and I will see you next time. For those of you who will continue watching or listening even after this warning, please know that you are free to leave whenever you want if it gets too much. And with that, let's get into Girl From Nowhere, Apologies. Even before you can see anything, you can hear it, the sound of someone shoveling dirt. And then a pair of socked feet come into view before dirt starts being piled onto the feet. While this person is being buried, we can hear Nanno's voice narrating to us. All of us have heard countless apologies in this beautiful world. If we make a mistake, we apologize. And yet, we still make more mistakes. Perhaps our apology is actually meant for our next mistake. We see more and more dirt getting piled onto this body, first the feet and then the hands, and then the face comes into view. The girl's head is turned to the side, her mouth is slightly parted, her eyes are wide open, and she's not moving as dirt gets piled onto her neck. The next thing we know, Nanno is strutting through the hallways of a new school. Her walk is confident, like she knows she's worth a hell of a lot. And that confidence with a beautiful face has her turning heads at every step. Meanwhile, on the other side of school, in a gym, basketball practice is well underway. They're practicing their shootings and their layups when another player comes running in. He's out of breath as he gets the attention of his two friends who are curious. Where were you? You skipped practice again. Hook, the guy who skipped practice, smiles. There's a new girl. She's in classroom B. Classroom B? Is she pretty? A smile breaks out on Hook's face. Would I be telling you about her if she wasn't pretty? The three of them run through the school like the desperate little kids they are, and they stop right outside of Nanno's classroom. So one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of high schools in Asia seem to make windows that point inward. Like you can see the hallway, which was not the case in my high school. But then again, I think my high school didn't have walls, so maybe I just didn't go to a normal one. Anyway, the three boys stop at one of these windows and they stare openly at Nanno, who's listening intently to the lecture. They all immediately start arguing over whose type she is. One of them even had a girl he had a crush on, but now that he saw Nanno, that girl is equivalent to a toenail to him. I don't know if it's because Nanno felt their creepy gazes or if she heard them bickering, but she turns to look at them and the three of them practically melt on the spot. They're all so convinced that she's looking at them. Guys, she just looked at me just now. No, she looked at me. You guys are wrong. She just smiled at me now. Their leering gets interrupted by another voice. Are you all sure? The three of them turn around to find their coach standing behind them. Their coach rolls up a newspaper into a rod and starts smacking them on the head. I told you to practice for the competition. What are you doing here? Are you already good enough, huh? Aren't you being unfair to your hardworking teammates? The teacher's corporal punishment, however, gets interrupted when Nanno's teacher comes out of the room. What's all this loud noise? Oh, well, you see, they skipped their basketball practice, ma'am. I'm sorry for being so loud. He drags the three boys away, and Nanno watches them before she turns to the person to her right. Itim, who are those guys? They're the 3 points. They're our school's basketball players. They're funny, but they're troublemakers. Don't pay attention to them, Nanno. Do you like them, Itim? Itim has a small smile on her face as she answers. They're handsome, but they already have so many fans. I can't compete with all their fans. Nanno turns back to the front, and that smile forms on her face again. You know that smile, the one that we see on her face every time she's up to absolutely no good. The 3 points in the meantime are running their laps around this circle concrete circle that's out in the courtyard for their misconduct earlier today. Their coach stands in the middle watching them like a hawk. And I thought he was actually a pretty decent person until he opened his mouth. Keep running until I get tired. Why did you skip practice? To check out the girl, coach. Is she pretty? Yes, she is, coach. Hook, were you the one who led your friends there? I'm sorry, coach. Don't apologize. I asked you a question. Were you the one who led your friends there? Yes, coach. That's just great. Faster. And I think in his own way, he was like punishing them by making them run faster laps. But I don't know, I just wish maybe he could not have made everything about Nanno's looks. He didn't actually discipline them for the fact that they were objectifying the poor girl and then goes on to ask them questions about her looks. What was the point of that? Anyway, he continues his questioning as Nanno, Itim, and Nanno's other deskmate Teo make their way to the same area that these guys are running laps. The three obviously haven't learned their lesson, the three boys, because they wave and run sideways for a bit just to get a glimpse of Nanno. And then the coach asks if they learned her name. But instead of the 3 points answering, Nanno turns around in that dramatic music video way, how they do that this action, and she goes, it's Nanno. Nanno syndrome starts spreading throughout the school. The school's group chats start going crazy. Who is this Nanno? The new girl in 11th grade classroom B. She's cute. You can already tell she's bitchy just by her name. She moved here in the middle of the semester, guys. She must be a troublemaker. Did she get expelled from her old school? Can her skirt be any shorter? She's so sexy, guys. I'll be a good boy once I get to have sex with her. Which rhinoplasty surgeon did she go to? She looks like she got her whole face done. What's wrong with you? Why are you insulting her like that? You must think you're so pretty. And all the while that this is going on, Nanno is reveling in the praise, the hate, and the creepy all together. And the way they film this scene is really interesting. Nanno is standing on top of this concrete stump in front of the school, and there's this fog that's a light shade of pink that's surrounding her while she dances in a way that I assume is supposed to be sexy. I think it kind of comes off more goofy than anything else. Back in reality, Itim is walking through the school courtyard when Hulk approaches her. He hands her a box of cookies and Itim can't help the smile on her face. Is this for me? Yeah. He hands her another box of cookies. Itim's smile grows even wider. Are you giving me 2 boxes? No, don't be greedy. You're good friends with Nanno, right? Give this one to Nanno for me. Itim's smile drops and she shoots him a look before walking away. Hook calls after her because he doesn't know what's wrong, but Itim just ignores him. She goes into the classroom and dumps both the boxes of cookies on Nanno's desk. Hook asked me to give this to you. Oh, you can eat it. I don't like this. No, thanks. Teo interrupts. Don't argue with each other. Just share it, all right? Itim scoffs. No, thanks. I don't want to eat someone else's leftovers. Teo is thrown off by the energy coming from Itim, but she shrugs it off and instead decides to eat the cookies herself. Nanno, who had been quiet up until now, speaks up. Actually, Itim, it's good that you're not eating it. You're chubby. You might want to lose some weight. Itim lets out a big sigh and looks at Nanno like she wants to kill her. But Nanno just smiles, and that smile is one that Itim just can't stand. She gets up and walks away. Teo is appalled by Nanno's behavior and tries to defend her friend. I think she's cute being chubby. Nanno doesn't respond to that though. Instead, she just smiles once again. Later that day, Itim and Teo were leaving school while talking about this new shirt that Teo found and how hard it is for them to make shirts that are Itim's size when the 3 points approach them again. Hook pulls out 2 backstage concert tickets to the Japanese band that Teo really wants to go see. So she excitedly grabs the tickets and shows them to Itim, but Itim just takes the tickets and shoves them back at Hook. What do you really want? Well, my parents will be out of town, so we're having a small party. We just wanted to invite you guys, but Itim is smarter than that. This is not about them. It's not the 2 of them that these guys want. And Nanno, all 3 of them smile and nod their heads at the same time. And it would have been cute if it wasn't for the fact that you know exactly why they want Nanno to be at the party. Itim picks a bone with them again. So these tickets are our payments to get Nanno with us, right? It's not like that. Why did you think that? No. These tickets are just a token of our appreciation. I see. And what if Nanno doesn't want to come with us? The 3 boys exchange looks and Teo finally catches on to what's going. Will you get us drunk? What? No, that's absurd. Will you get Nanno drunk? One of the three of the boys lets out an enthusiastic yes before he gets slapped on the shoulder by Hulk, but Etim has heard enough. She shoves the tickets back into Hulk's hands. If they want Nanno to come, they're gonna have to invite her themselves. Etim and Teu walk away, and Etim is irritated. Aren't you tired of people coming up to us just to get to Nanno? That's crazy, Etim. It's not like that. Aren't you overthinking this? Teo drags a complaining Etim away, and the next morning, Nanno walks in to class greeting both Teo and Etim before stopping as her gaze lands on her desk. And there, on her desk, is a white rose. And of course, in the window is Hulk, gesturing to Nanno that he put the rose there. Nanno puts her school bag on top of the rose, making a show of crushing it. And that causes Etim's attention to shift from Nanno to the window, where Hulk is pretending like he was just like stabbed in the heart. Nanno sits down as Teo grows curious. Nanno, you don't like Hulk at all? How about you? Do you like anyone too? Teo pauses, looking almost like she's thinking about either the question or how to answer Nanno without giving away too much of herself. I used to, but not anymore. Guys aren't trustworthy. Teo then picks up the rose on Nanno's desk. What a waste of a flower though. You hit it so hard. If you like it, you can take it. I hate flowers, especially roses. You hate them? Why? I don't know, I've just never been into them. Etim, who had been listening next to Nanno, rolls her eyes before she picks up her phone. And then into the group chat, Etim types, "She's so pretentious," which of course starts another flurry of texts. I know exactly who you're talking about. She says she doesn't like them, yet she still flirts with them all the time. Should we use the word slutty instead? She probably wants all three of them. Hey, don't insult my Nanno. Oh, did you have sex with her? How much? I don't pay for sex. She's worth 4,000 baht, I guess. Can I ask for a discount? Just 500 would be enough for her. You can get her for free. I heard everyone has had sex with her already. And I don't know about you guys, but these texts just made me really freaking uncomfortable. Like, how is it okay? How do this many people think it's okay to speak about someone like this? And to make it all so much worse, these baseless rumors and insults seem to make Etim very happy. The rest of the school day goes by without much drama, and just as the three girls are about to leave to check out this really cute cafe, one of Hoke's friends, Nung, walks into the classroom with the biggest smile on his face. Teo, are you free? Can you teach me some math? I have a math exam tomorrow and I don't know anything. I know you don't. You don't study at all, that's why. What? No, I do, but this is just the best I can do. Damn it, sit down, Nung. You guys can leave without me. But Nanno and Etim stay in their seats. They can wait for Teo to finish. Teo gets to work, she pulls out a textbook, points out a question, and asks Nung to solve it. Nung scratches his head, looking at this problem, and then smiles an innocent smile and says he doesn't even know what the question is asking. Teo laughs with Nung, and as she's looking at Nung, you can tell that this is the person that Teo likes. As Teo begins to explain the solution, Nung's gaze shifts to Nanno. His smile grows wider when he sees that Nanno is already looking at him. Teo realizes that she's not getting any responses from Nung, and she looks up only to find Nanno and Nung making googly eyes at each other. Her grip on the pen tightens, and then she suddenly gets up, shoves Nung's books to the side, and storms out. Nung calls after her, but Teo is too far gone. Etim follows after her friend while Nanno looks pleased with herself for angering her friend like this. Etim finds Teo crying while hiding in the stall of a bathroom. Etim leans against the sink and crosses her arms. Do you still like Nung? I thought you told me that you didn't like him anymore. Seriously, what do you see in him? He has a bad personality and he's stupid. He's not stupid, he's just not good at studying. I don't know why I love him. I'm sorry, don't talk to me, go away. Fine, I'll go. Come outside when you're done crying. But Etim doesn't move. Instead, she stays outside listening to her friend cry. Eventually, Teo wipes her tears and unlocks the door. She walks right up to Etim with a crazed look in her eyes. Let's go to the concert, Etim. Etim lowers her eyes, thinks for a second before looking up. Sure, let's go. I've been wanting to see that band for a really long time. The next night, the 3 Point Boys, Nanno, Teo, and Etim are all gathered in Hook's house drinking a ton of alcohol. The 3 jerks are gathered around Nanno looking like they're ready to pounce the moment she shows even a small sign of being drunk. But it really seems like everyone else will reach their limit before Nanno. And realizing this, Teo and Etim excuse themselves to have an emergency meeting. Teo, why is Nanno not getting drunk at all? The guys will get drunk first. Shut up. Why don't you just yell it in her face? I think we need our ultimate mix. Let's mix whiskey, beer, punch, and vodka together. But Itim pulls out a bottle of pills. Teo takes them from Itim, her face serious. Where did you get these? It's my mom's. It'll make her unconscious. How many pills do we use? Let's use 3 for now. Itim shakes out the pills, but she gets so many more than 3, and they rush to put the rest back inside before heading back to the rest of the group. The 2 act nonchalant as they convince everyone to refill their glasses. Teo grabs Nanno's glass, and Itim quickly adds 5 pills. 5 pills? I thought you said 3. I'm just making sure, Teo. They pour the alcohol in and Teo puts on an act. She lifts her glass up to Nanno. I want to drink this one with Nanno. Everyone cheers for them and Nanno has that look on her face like she knows exactly what Teo has planned for her, but she lifts her glass nonetheless and the 2 of them bottoms up. A couple seconds later, Nanno collapses and the boys smile at each other. Hook goes to lift her, but his friends stop him. Where are you taking her? Leave her here. We want to see her too. Teo and Itim, however, look disgusted at the thought. We don't want to see anything. Go anywhere, just not here. Hook looks at his friends. You guys can go after me, but Nung puts his hand on Hook's shoulder. Can I go first? Mine is the smallest. This is my house. I'll go first. Fine, just hurry up. Hook lifts her, takes her into his bedroom, closes the door behind them, and tosses her onto his bed. He takes a moment just to savor the feeling of whatever is about to happen, and then he pounces. He goes straight for her buttons. He's about halfway through unbuttoning the shirt when Nanno's eyes shoot open. Aren't you gonna ask? Hook looks like he's seen a ghost as he curses and scrambles to get away from Nanno. She sits up and looks him straight in the eyes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I don't want an apology. I want you to ask for my permission. Well, can I have sex with you? Do you want to try that again? I think you can do better than that. Well, can I have sex with you? I love you. Yes, Hook, because saying I love you are the magic words that every girl wants to hear, and suddenly you have the right to have sex with her. And Nanno seems to feel the same way because she snorts at him. She then gets off the bed and goes to the door. She looks at the door handle. You don't need to eavesdrop. She grabs the door handle and pulls the door open, but Teo lets out a scream and she pulls the door shut again. Nanno pulls at the door again, calling out for Teo. On the other side of the door, Teo's eyes are wide as she holds the door closed with Itim's help, and the 2 other boys just look confused. Nanno continues to pull on the door. Teo, are you that mad at me that you won't let me out? You can only come out when they're done having sex with you. Nanno pauses for a second before laying her palm against the door. Itim, do you want to trade places with me? Itim shudders before she starts yelling at Hook. Hook, hurry up and do what you need to do. Hurry. Hook unfreezes quickly and drags Nanno away from the door. He pushes her back onto the bed. You're not gonna ask me anymore? He climbs on top of her, pulls out his ding-dong, and forces his way inside. While he's going at it, Nanno just looks bored. In fact, she looks like she's about to yawn. She lays there, not screaming, not pushing him away. I'm not sure if it's because of her lack of reaction, but Hook looks down at her. How is it? Is it good? It's okay. Anything as soft as tofu always turns me on. On the other side of the door, you can hear his friends laughing. Hook, if you're not hard, then let us go first. I agree, Hook. Should we let your friends go first? Hook gets mad, but he doesn't stop. And then Nanno starts laughing. It's that kind of laugh that unsettles you. It's maniacal craze. And it's enough to freak Hook out. Why the fuck are you laughing? You won't stop laughing? Stop laughing. He tries to cover her mouth, but Nanno's laugh persists even with his hand in the way. The longer Nanno laughs, the more irritated he gets, and when he's had enough, he starts choking her. And you know what? I find it rather crazy that he wants her to enjoy it, but when she's enjoying it, he doesn't seem to like it. But choking her seems to satisfy his sick need to have power over her. Nanno starts gasping for air, her eyes go wide before she goes limp. Hook, who had just been about to finish, freezes. He gets off of her, cursing, and the people outside hear him curse. They all rush inside, and they're shocked when they see Nanno laying there unmoving. Immediately, they all start arguing, pushing the blame around. Teo accuses Nung and the others for just lining up. They accuse Teo of holding the door closed, and Hook gets blamed for choking her. They all quiet down as they stare at Nanno's body. And then Itim has an idea. We need to bury her body. So that night, the three boys get to work digging a hole. They pick up Nanno, put her inside. Hook has the audacity to look down at her body and apologize. He didn't want it to end this way because, yeah, it would have ended so much better if she was raped and alive, right? They start covering her body up, her feet first, then her hands, then her neck. It's that scene that was shown at the beginning of the episode. Before dirt can be piled onto Nanno's face, Nanno gasps and takes in a chunk of air. She's coughing as she looks at all the people trying to bury her alive. The group realizes she's wide awake and panics. Nung tries to go down to help her out, but he gets pulled back. Teo yells at him, "Help her! Do you want to get arrested? Kill her!" A fight breaks out because no one wants to actually be the one to end Nanno's life. While everyone else is arguing, Ethan picks up her shovel and continues shoveling dirt onto Nanno. The rest of the gang follows in her lead. They're all either frantically shoveling or, in Teo's case, kicking as much dirt as she can onto Nanno. But realizing that burying her alive will take a little bit too long, Hook goes into the hole and he starts kicking her. They relax a little when Nanno is finally buried 6 feet underground. Hook once again begs for forgiveness, and this time so does everyone else, before they all climb into Hook's car and leave. The next morning at school, Teo and Itim look very out of it. Teo has bandaged her arm because there was a cut that she got while trying to bury Nanno last night. The two of them keep looking guiltily at Nanno's empty seat. The boys aren't faring too well either. They're distracted, picking at their textbooks. But then they hear shoes clicking against the floor. Their heads turn and their eyes widen. A couple seconds later, a voice rings out in Teo and Itim's class. "I'm sorry for being late." Teo and Itim's eyes widen and their lips turn pale as they see a completely alive and unharmed Nanno in their classroom. Nanno turns to look at Teo and Itim with a smile on her face. She goes over to her desk and sits down. Nanno opens her backpack while she turns to look at her deskmates. "Teo, Itim, weren't you going to wake me up at all?" As soon as class ends, Itim and Teo rush outside and huddle together. "Do you think she knows about last night?" "I don't know." Before the two can continue speculating, Nanno inserts herself in the middle of the conversation. The two shrink away from Nanno, their heads down, refusing to meet Nanno's eyes as she talks to them. "Teo, you look pale. We probably got really drunk last night." "Who are you?" "Did you forget me already, Teo? I'm Nanno. Do you have Alzheimer's?" "You're not Nanno." "If I'm not Nanno, then who am I?" This time, Itim speaks up timidly. Are you Nanno's twin?" "That's crazy, Itim. How did you even come up with that? Guys, both of you look really sick today." Nanno starts caressing Teo's face, and then she yanks Teo's hand towards her while she brings her face closer to Teo. "Let me give you a checkup. Your pulse is strong. Your temperature is fine too. You guys are probably not sick. And this wound on your hand is so ugly. Looks like you did some digging. Listen, the party last night was so fun. Don't forget to invite me next time." She smiles at the two of them as they run off, and she turns to look behind her to see the three boys looking at her from a window on the upper floor of the school. That night, all the murderers gather in Hook's house to discuss the situation. Ning is happy that this new person isn't Nanno, so this means that she didn't disappear. Are we all out of trouble? Are you crazy? Do you think this girl posing as Nanno has no objectives? What do you want us to do? Kill another person? You should think before you ask anything. She knows all of us. She knows this place. She knows about the party last night, and she even knows that we were digging, and she said that she wanted to party here again. The only friend without a name in this entire episode for some reason says if they want to kill someone else, then they can go ahead, but he is no longer going to be a part of this. But Teo doesn't let him go that easily. She crosses her arms. "Isn't your father a teacher?" He grabs Teo's collar at that meant. "Don't get my father involved in this." "I don't want to, but if anyone finds out you're going down, your father will go down with you." The doorbell rings and Hook is stunned when he sees Nanno standing there. She walks inside and sees that everyone is gathered here. "Everyone is here, but you guys didn't invite me? You guys are so mean." She then lets out a laugh. "I'm kidding. I just forgot my phone. It's probably in Hook's bedroom." She starts marching towards Hook's bedroom while everyone else follows after her. Nanno climbs onto the bed and lays down. This bed is so soft. It's too bad I only spent such a short time on it. "Do you want to join me, Hook? Let's relive some history. Don't you love me anymore? Were you gonna dump me right after?" She then starts moving her hand around the bed. She reaches under the pillow next to her and pulls out her phone. "Found it!" She opens her phone before turning to the gang. There's some great videos in here. Do you guys want to watch them with me? Never mind, I'll watch them alone. She gets up and starts playing the video. Everyone can hear the audio, and it's a recording of Hulk asking Nanno's permission to have sex with her, and all the remarks the group made while she was getting brutally violated. She then twirls a strand of her hair. It's such a shame that this is all I have. Great videos like this should be shared, right? The group immediately lunges for her. They start suffocating her with a pillow before shoving her unconscious body back into Hulk's truck. They go back to where they buried Nanno the first time and try to bury her again, but before they can cover her up, they start hearing another recording. This time it's one where they were saying sorry to Nanno the first time around. They all freak out. Hulk starts looking around the hole to find where this audio is coming from, and when he gets close enough to Nanno, Nanno grabs him by his hair and pulls him down while laughing maniacally in his face. They all freak out even more. Hulk frees himself and then grabs a shovel and starts hitting Nanno with it until she stops laughing again. But as he's hitting her, another Nanno appears before them. They scream even louder and scramble away. Are you guys tired? Actually, I think we should celebrate your success so you'll stop feeling tired. They rush towards her again and start beating her again, but just as that Nanno is silenced, another appears behind them. Today has been so fun, guys. At this point, they're frantic. What are you? Nanno is Nanno. I told you before, but you wouldn't listen. They all run away towards Hulk's car, trying to get inside as Nanno screams after them. I'm new at school. I want to get to know you guys better. Please be my friends. Panic grows among the group as they realize that the car is locked and Hulk lost his keys. He's looking around trying to find them, but Nanno is faster. She picks the keys up from the ground and waves them in Hulk's face. Hulk freezes before he reaches for the keys. He slowly turns around and apologizes to Nanno again. You're sorry again? Get home safely. I'll see you tomorrow, handsome. And she kisses him on the cheek. The gang gets into Hulk's car and drives away as Nanno waves them by while laughing crazily. And sure enough, the next morning, she's walking through the halls while narrating. In this beautiful world, everyone apologizes as if it's some kind of tradition. If we make a mistake, we apologize. And if we make the same mistake, we still apologize. This is humanity. She enters Teu's and Itim's class once again, where the two once again look like they're losing their minds, and they can't help but scream as Nanno greets them. And that is the end of the episode. I have to say that I'm oddly satisfied with the ending on this one. I very rarely like the way that movies or TV shows end, but I think out of all the ones that we've done so far, the endings for Drishyam, Alice in Borderland, and the Black Mirror episodes were the best that I've seen. And now I think that this episode can join that. Knowing that these people will never live in peace is so satisfying. Like, for me, it was unfathomable that Itim and Teu would enable this as much as they did. Like, forget the guys, right? Like, I am pretty sure like 99% of men don't carry around that fear of being violated in this way that I'm sure 99% of women do. So to know that kind of fear and still set up Nanno the way they did was absolutely despicable. I will say that I don't think there was a single innocent person in this thing, even Nanno. Like, I know that the reaction she got was not warranted in any way. Like, no one deserves to be violated like this, but she did goad on Itim and Teu quite a bit. I think for Itim's case, the weight comment was extremely unnecessary, and for Teu's situation, you can judge for yourselves if you choose to watch this episode, but I personally felt like she knew that Nung was the person that Teu liked, and she still decided to kind of silently flirt with him, if that makes sense. Like, it's one thing to make googly eyes at a man not knowing that your friend is interested in them, but I feel like if you know that your friend, if it's blatantly obvious that your friend is interested in this person, then no, you should not be flirting with the man. So she did goad them on a little bit, which in my mind also doesn't make her a great person, but once again, she did not deserve to get violated like that just because she made her friends angry like twice. That's just stupid. And also, episodes like this make me often think about like the debate. Do you guys know the debate about the goodness of people? I think the question is something along the lines of, are humans born innately good or innately evil? I think the answer differs a lot per person. Personally, I think humans are born innately good people, and quite a few people will also say the opposite, where they think that people are just born evil. episodes like this, unfortunately, always make me question my stance on things. Like, I truly firmly believe that people are born to be good, and then it's just society and situations that turn them into a little bit more selfish, a little bit more greedy. But episodes like this, sometimes I wonder if that's actually true. Like, if people are truly good people, or if we're just evil, and all it takes is like one thing that somebody said that makes us mad to turn us into like the most despicable monsters on the planet. Anyway, with that, I guess one thing I do want to say before we end is I want to apologize for posting such a heavy topic episode on Valentine's Day. I hope you guys all have fun with your significant others and your friends if you're doing Galentine's, but Drishyam had taken a lot longer to film than I had thought. I was originally going to do Lapata Ladies for Valentine's Day because it's such a gem of a movie and I think it goes really well with the theme of Valentine's, but again, Drishyam took too long to film, and on top of that, I had to travel for work. As you can see, I'm not in my house, so I couldn't get it done. So I don't know when I'll be doing that one, but just know that it is in my backlog, and let me know if you've watched it and if you liked it. I thought it was a really, really cute movie. Anyway, that is all for this week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!